Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the newest track modules that we've added to our layout here in the Lego room. Really excited with our progress here. As you know, I took apart a bunch of the layout recently to take things out to a train show. And I figured as part of getting things back into the Lego room here and getting everything set up again, it would be a really good time to tackle trying to get these additional modules around the rail yard in place. And, they've really come together well here. We're going to take a look at the new rail yard sidings that we've been working on. But the big element that I want to show you guys is the new entry point at the far end of the rail yard there, which is going to let us access the rail yard from both ends. It'll allow trains to come in from that end and exit over here or vice versa. Really happy about that. It gives us basically another way to loop trains around the layout. I think it should be an excellent feature for the layout. So let's take a closer look at each of these new modules. So starting off, we're going to look at the new entry point for the rail yard from this end of the layout. You'll remember previously that the two mainline tracks just bypassed this end of the yard completely. Really like having an access point down here. As I mentioned, gives us another way to loop trains around the layout. Also allows us to have trains, enter one end of the yard and exit out the opposite end, which I think will be really nice. And, also, it doesn't change the functionality of the main line if we don't want it to. The trains can still bypass these switches here and just carry straight on through and loop around the main line as they did before if we want. So gives us a lot of flexibility. The track that we're using here, we've got two Trixbricks R104 switches for accessing the yard from over here. Really happy with how those switches have been working so far. This will give us a really nice curved entryway in, which will support all of our trains. The 104 is a really nice size radius for a curve, an entryway into the yard. You'll remember that our corners are currently R120 on the outside and R104 on the inside. So in keeping with that, the 104 switches here should let us do everything we need to do with, moving our larger trains in and out of the yard. In terms of parts here, this was a pretty intensive, sort of project to get done. In addition to doing the entry point here, we were also working on the additional sidings. So you'll notice that I've got some off color, we've got some tan rather than the dark blue gray for some of the ballast work underneath. And you'll notice over here some sort of orangey brown parts. So my plan is to make some orders on Bricklink. We'll get some additional parts in, which will let us clean up those elements. Not too worried about them in the short term, but it'll just be a nice thing to tidy up long term as we polish this module. You can see here that there was a large number of additional base plates that we had to put into use here to get the mills underlay for this huge track feature, up and running here. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 new green mills modules that are acting as the the underlay for this new track area. And then we revised some of our existing Mills modules for the main line there to add in the new switches. I'm still going to go through. I haven't gotten to the point yet where I've put on the railway ties on top. So we'll go through and be adding those in as well to really finish off the overall look of the track. But, really happy with the additional functionality this provides. Trixbricks is coming out with a T-junction using R104 and R120 radius curves. I'm planning on picking that up. I don't think I'm going to put it into this section of the layout at the moment. I think we'll go with what we've got here. This basically gives us everything we want. The only thing that the T-junction would provide, in addition to what this one does, is it would let the outside mainline track access the yard here as well too. Like I said, once that T-junction comes out, I plan on picking up at least one of them, and we'll probably use it on the underneath layout area that we are planning on starting up soon. So we'll get that up and running there. Depending on how it works and how it comes together, I might swap it in up here at a later date. But for now, I'm really happy with how this particular section of track has come together, and I can't wait until we've got trains moving around the layout again so that I can fully test out how this all works. But it's looking really nice, and I think that once we go through and we've got all of those additional railway ties on the track here, and we tidy up some of the underlay stuff here, it's going to be really, really sweet. So looking forward to testing that out. Now let's take a look at some of the rail yard siding modules that we also put together. Now, you probably recall from before that we had this rail yard siding entry area as part of the layout before. I've taken this module to a number of shows. It's been a really nice module for me, really useful. It usually is the entry point into the grain elevator portion of our club layout. And been really happy with it. I shrunk it down a little bit before the last show that we went to. Just lopped off a couple of the extra track modules that were attached onto it just to make it a little more flexible and make it a little easier to transport out to shows. And once I came back from this latest show, my thinking was that it would be really nice to refine this module some more, make it a little more modular, a little easier to take to and from shows. And in the process of doing that, come up with a template that we could use for the additional rail yard entry point switch sort of modules that we wanted to add around the layout. So I went and did that, and what we've got now is everything here is completely segmented out. You'll notice I've got some additional sort of 2x4 plates here that are holding some of the connection points together just to lock the module together nicely when it's around in our layout here. I'm going to polish that up a little bit more and sort of fine tune those connections. But you can see here that we've basically got now 4 individual base plates that can all come apart, and the track can be taken off of that. In addition to the switch area here, you'll notice there's 2 sets of track, 2 sets of mainline, or in this case, mainline rail yard track that are carrying through here. Those were locked together in the previous iteration of this module. And what I've done now is I've made these 2 sections of track up here optional. So they are now on half base plate mills modules. They can be peeled off, so we can have, if we wanted to, we could use this particular module as a one-track main line that branches off into two sidings, which is really nice. Will give us some more flexibility. I don't have any immediate plans to use it that way, but you never know what happens when you're showing, when you're taking stuff out and using it in a club layout. There might be something that comes up where that's useful, or when you're taking a module in general out to a show. Just having that flexibility makes it a lot easier to use your modules and plug everything in together with what the other members are bringing. So happy to have that flexibility. It's going to make this a lot easier to take out to shows, because we'll be able to break it down into just, single base plate mills modules for transportation. And then we can reassemble it on the other side. And then, like I said, the additional flexibility of making that top track area there optional, super useful. Now, with that, once we had that sort of new templated version of this module, I then recreated it for this siding area over here. So you can see, same idea here. It's got the two main lines. These two modules here, or these two portions of the module, are half base plate mills modules. So those can be removed. They're optional depending on where I want to use it. The one thing that I'm still missing that I need to order and get in place is I need a couple of half track chunks to fill out those remaining sections of the siding area there. Won't stop me from being able to use this track in the meantime. We can have the mainline portions in use, and we can even partially use the siding area. But once that track comes in, then I can kind of completely finish that off. Other things to note, as I mentioned, I was just trying to use whatever tiles and plates I had in my collection at the moment to finish this off. So we'll fix up some of that, off color stuff that's underneath there, like all of these sort of orangey brown tile bits will get replaced with, dark blue green, so they don't, they kind of blend into the track a bit more. But, really happy with how that came out. Once I had this template to work from, it was actually, really quick and easy to get this particular module up and running. And that now gives us two of that left exit to yard type of module. So really happy with that. And with that, then the other module that I put together is this one over here, which is going to give us access to the siding on the side of the track here, the side of the layout. And that one is a right exit to rail yard. So we'll go around and take a closer look in a moment. But what I had to do is basically take this template right here and mirror it to that one. Was a little bit, of a brain bending exercise, but not too bad to do. And since everything here was already split out into single base plate mills modules for everything, it was really easy to go sort of module by module or sub-module by sub-module to create the mirrored version for that switch over there. So really happy. Now we've got two of the left-hand side exits and one of the right-hand side exits. You can see this one needs a couple of the half track pieces as well. So like I said, once we get those ordered in, that can be finished off completely. But this now completes the additional track projects that we had set up to finish the rail yard. So you'll now be able to access the rail yard from over here where you could before, but you'll also be able to enter the yard from down here. Really happy with the flexibility that that gives us. Like I said, I can't wait till we can start running trains around. Looking forward to running trains in and out of the yard from both ends. Also really excited about being able to just use this this track here as another way to kind of loop around the layout, because if we basically set the switches appropriately, we can just have a train running around that particular loop of the track. So really happy with that. I think these modules are going to look great as we continue to polish them up, get rid of some of these black railway ties, get everything switched over to the nice brown printed ties that we have from Trix Bricks, and just continue to polish up these track modules. But really happy with how they've come together here. The next step for me is to finish reassembling the layout, the complete layout track loop. So we'll work on getting our corners back together. We'll get the grain elevator and all the buildings appropriately placed around the track. And then we should be able to do an official test run of trains through these new track elements. And it'll just be nice in general to have trains running around the layout again as we move forward to the next big projects that we have planned for the layout and for the Lego room in general. But really happy to finish this stage of the track development off. Looking forward to some new track projects going forward. Like I said, looking forward to seeing the Trix Bricks T-junction for the R104, R120. Looking forward to getting that, into action on the lower layout area that we're going to be building up, like I mentioned. And I've got some other track elements that I'm interested in trying out on that lower layout loop, which should be a lot of fun as well. So, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so. Lots of great stuff ahead. And in the short term, keep an eye out for a video, hopefully in the next day or so, as we get the track all back together here. And we'll do a big sort of layout tour and start running some trains around the layout again, which should be a lot of fun. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you again soon. Take care. Bye. Okay, not done quite yet. I realized that I didn't come around to this side of the track to show you guys the right-hand exit module up close. So you can see here how this will branch off the outside of the main line there to give us a really nice long siding into the end of the table there, which should allow us to store some nice long trains over here. Quite happy about that. And like I said, it was a bit of a brain twister to think through the mirroring of some of these parts in the module, but not bad because it was so modularized. Just made each little component, not too bad on its own to get mirrored and set up properly. So just the two half-track chunks that are missing there, those will be easy to get, installed once our track order arrives. But, overall, really happy with what this module is going to allow us to do over here on this side of the layout, and just super happy with how these different track modules have come together and how they're going to allow us to both run trains and display trains in some new and interesting ways around the layout. So that is actually the end of the video. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.